And good afternoon, our viewers. Today, I want to welcome you on our Facebook page and live on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us today on our transformational meeting. Today is a week of how you can overcome challenges at your workplace. We have a great speaker today who I'll be introducing in a few, but before I introduce him, I want to let you know that as Transformers Hub, we are committed to being here each and every Friday, and we are here to transform your life timelessly, regardless of your gender, of who you are, and what we do. We believe that you were created with a purpose, and it is that purpose we are here to help you identify. That's why we are here every Friday sharing about different topics, which you can find on all our social media platform. Well, if it is your first time to join us today, kindly type in the chat your WhatsApp number and your email. We will definitely get to you for easy communication. Well, I am going to invite our speaker today, but I want to introduce him as a very special man, great man, who is a great speaker, a great motivator, and an educationist. I want to introduce to you Mr. Cheyune Andrew, who is going to be sharing about overcoming challenges at your workplace. Well, you all know that we all have challenges, and it is these challenges that help us grow professionally. Have you ever sat down and identified that challenge at your workplace, the nature of the problem that you have? Well, Mr. Cheyune is here. Much welcome to teach us today about those challenges. You are welcome, Mr. Cheyune. Take on.
Oh yes, thank you so much, Ikara. This is Cheyune Andrew from Transformers Hub. I'm happy to be sharing with you today on some of the contagious issues, basically the challenges we meet at different workplaces. And this will cut across a wider spectrum. When we talk of workplace and challenges, this can further be broken into managerial challenges. Now these are challenges at the topmost arena of the organizational structure. Say, what the bosses, the managers go through planning for the organization, planning for the company. Then we also have challenges the employees meet, and these are many that at times go undiscussed, and they are never given attention. And at times you find people psychologically, socially, and emotionally dying out. This affects eventually the productivity of a given employee, and worst of all, at times it even leads to death. But interestingly, there is no problem that can never find a solution. Today I'm here to share with you with intentions of instilling hope and putting someone out there's brain that you're not the only person going through this. These are challenges people have made before, but they never commit suicide, and you just can never talk of success without hurdles. Success is like a ladder. No one can climb success, you just can't climb the ladder with your hands in the pocket. The moment you talk of success, then the next is a road to take, hurdles, challenges, difficulties here and there, but we must remain strong. And you can only remain strong when you're empowered, when you are knowledgeable. Today, viewers out there, I want mainly to focus on the challenges employees meet, because now this will constitute the biggest percentage. In any given organization, you find the administrative structure will constitute like 10% or 5%. The other 80, 90, 95% are the employees. And you are my target tonight. You're the people I want to share with. We meet so many challenges at our workplaces. These challenges may range depending on which institution, because even a border has challenges. Even teachers have challenges at their workplaces. Doctors also have challenges. Market vendors, every other category. And these challenges will still differ given or depending on the nature of work one does. And I cannot dig deeper into every other category, every other nature or job description, but I want to mainly focus on general challenges and how best we can overcome this. Thank you so much for giving your chance and ears and attention to Transformers Hub. You're with Jay and Andrew. Some of the challenges we get are the hard bosses. Hard in the sense that they are not flexible. They are not ready to listen. Emotional imbalances at times with the workmates. People are rude. People are impatient. And they don't listen. Bosses set unrealistic deadlines, which we can call stress inducers. They ignore feedback. There is no communication. So these are very serious challenges that people meet. At times you're supposed to work very late hours, or you're supposed to be seen at your workplace very early in the morning. Little pay, sexual harassment, especially to the ladies. And at times people sarcastically call it carpet interviews. At times you are insulted. You're abused before your subjects. Very painful. The little pay. But I'm here to tell you that can never be a bigger pay. We can only strive for a reasonable pay. But there are times when the payments are too meager for anyone to do anything bigger or to reason bigger. One great man said, and which sounded an insult but very educated, that you can never reason or think bigger than your salary. It sounded a very big insult. But I want to pause a bit and give you a chance to reflect on it. When you're paid 1 million, it takes a bigger brain to think of any task of 10 million. Someone who is paid 100,000 may never have any bigger dreams of 2 million. So sometimes our vision, our thoughts and plans are limited on the nature of the payment. And at times even these payments delay. You find someone has gone into 2 months without pay, and it really brings every other thing to stand still. So adjusting to new policies. There are policies that are set every now and again as the institution grows. So the challenges are many. Lack of proper training. At times you get into jobs and you need to be given some training, which at times it's never done. And you find you're purely operating on a trial and error basis, even when results are expected. And that also affects performance. Inadequate management, improper company policies, staff conflicts, and so on. But I'm here to talk about how best can we overcome challenges at our workplace. 1. Seek support. Never should you ever think that you know it all. No. Every now and again, be ready to learn. When you meet any difficult, seek support. This can be sought from your immediate colleagues at work, or you lose no point. If you still ask your big boss, your immediate boss in command, on how best certain tasks are performed to avoid mistakes. Yes, mistakes are part of learning. Never fear to make mistakes. It's just part of learning. In fact, when you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. We learn better through our mistakes. But when mistakes become too many, it even causes losses to the company, and it debates your credibility. It really creates doubt in your performance. So to avoid all this, seek support whenever you feel you're stuck, you're not very sure of the next step, so that you don't make many mistakes. Stay positive. This is exactly to those that have just joined different professions, different workplaces. Stay positive. Even if we're to go to heaven, I'm sure the business of waking up every morning, praising God, because that is what that happens in heaven. It is surely glorifying and praising God from morning to evening. But it can also turn to be a bore. So let us remain positive in every situation. Today, the other day cannot be a Sunday. Every day cannot be of merrymaking. There will be hard times at workplace, especially when results are needed. But let us stay positive. If Monday was a bad day, wait to smile on a Wednesday. If the smiles didn't come on Wednesday, by Sunday you'll have a reason to smile. Remain positive in every situation. Don't quickly look at the negative side. Even when they tell you that boss is rude, if he has never been rude to you, why would you draw that conclusion? Yes, he is rude, but seek to find the other good side of it. Let us stay positive in every situation. We shall get to the promised land. Then identify the problem and cause. If there is a problem, what could have caused this? Let us have moments at our workplaces for self-evaluation. Whenever there is a problem, let us not quickly jump into air. Let us not post it everywhere. But let us dig deeper, breathe in and out and find out what could have caused this problem. And this equally goes to the bosses out there. Find out where is the problem, what could have caused it. You just can never solve anything until you get to the bottom point of the cause. Many times we quickly rush into finding solutions. But how often do we go back to the root cause? If you must counter-challenge some of these hurdles, let us always dig deeper into the causes of some of the problems we go through. Learn when to take decisions. When I'm availing different solutions, I'm looking at the bosses, I'm looking at the bottom employees, I'm looking at all the managers. Let us know when to take decisions. I have seen many people later regret their own decisions. Many bosses later curse their own decisions, simply because the decisions were taken when emotionally they were not stable. Whenever you feel you're too upset, that is the best moment to remain silent. This is a very wonderful pill, medicine, therapy. The best time to remain silent is when you feel you're about to burst. Is when you feel you want to kill a person. It could be your employee. It could be that you really feel you must exchange with your boss. It is too much, you just don't stomach it. Oh, wait a little, my sister, my brother out there. When do we take decisions? When we are emotionally stable. Whenever you feel you're very upset, possibly walk away. Relax and give it the next day. Perhaps when the anger is on. Sometimes when you later settle, when you have a cool head, you can reason better and you can take better decisions. Bosses, don't immediately fire the person at the time you're annoyed. Maybe that person did that mistake that day, but reflect on it. So many good things the value he has added to the company. Let us not quickly take decisions when we are upset or even when we are extremely excited because your salary has been increased. Then you later give bigger promises. You set yourself unrealistic targets just because they promised the salary increment and you're still excited. Know when to take a decision. Set realistic goals to yourself. It could be the boss. Sometimes we get stressed just because of our own set goals. Goals that are not achievable in the defined time frame. By the end of this month, we should have brought in this kind of income. Many bankers out there get stressed. When you interact with bankers, they attempt to set outrageous goals. We must have loaned this tune of money in this spell of time. And the things it just cannot match with common sense. Then you also set yourself unrealistic targets. By the end of this week, I should have achieved this. By Friday, you're not even halfway. Then you have unbelievable stress. You're now stressing everyone. You're stressing every other person. Set realistic goals and don't lose your heart when you fail to hit your goal. Maybe it only draws you one other caution, that go back and look at the methods. Maybe the methods ignored, or in the process something could have happened and you are unable to hit the given goal. That should not be a cause of stress. We want people to live in a harmonious life. Workplace should not be a cause of stress. Workplace is different from prison. It should rather be a place where we enjoy. After all, it's the cause of our bread. Then the other thing is learn from mistakes. We fear making mistakes. But until you learn that mistakes are part of learning, then you may not learn, unlearn, or relearn. Whenever you make a mistake, it is also another stage in learning. The most successful people are former failures. The most successful people in life are former failures. They once made mistakes and had a reason to learn from their mistakes. Maybe the mistakes taught them to improve. Mistakes taught them where to give a better touch. So when you make a mistake at your workplace, that should not make you distressed. Learn from it. So next time you perform better. Or stay adaptable. Flexibility. Be very flexible. Be friendly. Welcome new ideas. Embrace changes. Why many people are stressed out there? Even if you're hearing that a new boss is coming in, you're already losing it all. When they tell you this is how you've been operating, tomorrow you're shifting to this other position. Or you've been in this department. Tomorrow you now serve in another department. Which parts may not be bringing any other allowances. Be flexible. You just can never know what you're losing until you try it out. You can never know what you're missing. Many times we keep ourselves in one place. When we're growing, we used to sing very small, funny songs. London is burning, London is burning. Now, a child who grew up singing London is burning would assume that up to now, London is still burning. But I think it's one other place everyone would have loved to visit. So be flexible, be ready to adjust changes and embrace changes. You should not be very rigid. Even if it's just changing your office, embrace it. Why many people get stressed? Within them, they feel that is how it was, that is how it should be forever and ever. You've been working in Kampala. Chance has come to go to Masaka. You never know, your destiny could be Masaka. Maybe that is where you'll meet your destiny changers. Maybe that is where you meet greater opportunities. So let us be very flexible. When something calls for a change, look at the positive possibilities, positive outcome, and let us not be very rigid. Then the other thing is appreciate individual differences. I've come to realize many people have predetermined, preset minds. When someone new comes in the organization, rarely do we receive such people with positivity. Someone says I'm a Muslim, you're already cursing yourself. Another one says I'm a born again, you're regretting that. I think that is what brings uncalled for stress. They tell you you're being with the other boss, he had his method of work. you don't expect the new boss to also operate the same way. The new boss will perhaps come with a new style. After all, we're created differently. And what is very interesting, when God created us differently, He saw that whatever He had created was so good. Now let me teach you something. When 2-3 people sit, and on every other issue, they are all saying yes, 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 then one of them is useless. I repeat, when 2 or more people seem to agree on every little detail, then one of them is useless. In other words, if any decision is to ever be made, it should come as a result of differences in opinion. We can't all see things in the same way. If we all have the same vision, the same mindset, the world wouldn't be where it is. Let us appreciate problems in the world that are purely as a result of differences in brain capacity. So let us appreciate individual differences. You're very fast, me I'm very slow, but we need one another. The beauty about individual differences can be summarized in our palm. This palm has 1,000 lessons that we rarely give attention. When you look at the palm, it has different fingers. Now, you're listening to me out there. I don't know whether you've ever realized that each finger has different height and strength. The strength and the height of this finger is not the strength and height of this finger, but at the same time not in any way related to this. And trust me, they perform different tasks. If something was itching me in the ear, this wouldn't be the immediate finger to apply. Perhaps I would look at the smallest, alright? But you just can never clean your face perfectly, even if presented with a basin of water with one finger. We can try it out. We have our basin of water. With one finger, you push it in the basin to clean your face. It becomes practically impossible. You rather need all the fingers put together, despite the differences in strength and height, if you must perform one given task of cleaning the face. That is how individuals are. We are different, with different abilities, different capacities, different brains. Some are slow. That is how God created them and sold them so nice. For you're very fast, thank God. But we must embrace individual differences, which could range from abilities, tribal background, religious affiliations, or even nationality. But this, once you embrace that, you'll work better. And always look out for the positivity in an individual. This will relieve you of stress. The moment you realize person A is naturally slow, you learn them and appreciate them. And maybe encourage them to be a little faster. But not to use that mundane thing, because they did not apply to naturally be created the way they are. If someone is short, that should not be a cause of torture at workplace. If someone is very tall or very fat, that should not be a point of mockery. No, let us appreciate that that's how God created us. After all, none of us has ever applied to God to be created the way they are. If you can't be like me, why do you want me to be like you? Let us just appreciate individual differences if we must work better. At your workplace, if you're to count out, challenge some of these difficulties and hurdles, mind most your duties. Many times you ignore and neglect our duties, and we pop our noses into other people's responsibilities and duties. Before you alert the neighbor of a dirty eye, be sure that your eyes are clean. Before you warn the neighbor of an open zip, check out your zip. So why should we jump our own circles, our own jurisdiction, and then be mindful of what others are doing. At times it throws us into conflicts. Let us look at a school setting. You're in charge of the kitchen. You're the chief cook. But then you so much want to look at what the cleaners are doing. You're mindful about, or you're so much into what the head teacher does. Perhaps that is not your role. You can always advise at the right forum. But let us majorly focus on our job description. If we must live harmoniously, silence is very key. You must not react to every situation. There are times when you must let it go. Not everything calls for your input. The day you realize that not everything calls for your input, not everything calls for your brain, not everything calls for your piece of advice, you live a happier life at your workplace. There are times when you just have to let it go. There are times when you just have to keep quiet. Learn to be silent. Silence causes no regret. Silence causes no regret. Choose peace. Every time you choose to be silent, you're choosing peace. Do you realize in every situation, there is a peace button? Every time you're in a conflicting situation, think twice, there is a peace button. And trust me that the best therapy, the best peace button is silence. Back then when I was growing, there was a hot song. I used to love that song. But I remember the one statement in that song, I'm walking away from troubles in my life. Walking away from troubles in my life. That is the only statement I crammed. I'm a very poor musician. Well, I don't even have any skills of singing. But at least I appreciate and pick out small messages from some of those songs. Let me borrow the same one, lend you the same idea. In every situation, let your ultimate goal be, I'm walking away from troubles in my life. You live a better life. Communication is very key. Don't allow it to die in silence. When something is overpressing you, talk about it. A problem shared is a problem halfway solved. Many times we meet challenges at our workplaces. Maybe you even have people who are sick at home, but you fear communicating to your boss or even to your immediate supervisor. Maybe you're bound to report a little late because of unavoidable circumstances. Why do we find it so hard to make a phone call, to make a communication? My boss, I have something to share. I have something fresh. And bosses have widened ears. I think that is why God was so bright. That God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. To do a lot of listening. I'm jumping to the bosses now. Do a lot of listening. And at times you need to be very slow at reaction. Listen to them. But they will not listen to those who are not communicating. For us, the employees, let us communicate whenever we feel it's not alright. But just a little caution. Know when to communicate. If it is a personal issue, let it not come in a public gathering. Let it not come in a staff meeting. If it calls for one-on-one, please strive for that one-to-one, one-on-one meeting, and express your dissatisfaction. It should not be that every communication should be expression of dissatisfaction. It should be that you're communicating your wedding that is due, your introduction. Instead of later lamenting how people did not support you, did you communicate? Avoid sexual relationships at your workplace, as this compromises productivity. It compromises a number of things. Many bosses have failed to live to the targets. They have failed to live the rest right because of sexual relationships. Actually, there is no best tablet to destroy an organization, to destroy any manager, any employee, like sexual relationships. I'm not saying having a spouse is bad, but even when you later identify one, the idea should have been to separate work and family or love issues. But to the managers, I question you. There is no way you command someone you spent the night with. There is no way you're going to command someone you spent an evening with. And even when later other employees get to know your secret, the relationship, it dwindles your respect and command. But it compromises a number of things. The respect, the integrity is compromised. Try as much as possible to avoid relationships at your workplace. Sometimes it destroys. Integrity, trust, and self-conscious. If you must fly higher, if you must be a high flyer, integrity is very key. Integrity is your ability to do the right thing with or without any eye watching over you. Do what is right. You don't have to be supervised all the time to do the right thing. Always have that other option. Are you doing the right thing? It should not be that the boss must all the time look at what you're doing. Even in darkness, ensure that you're doing the right thing. That will build trust. Your employer will trust you, will have reasons to trust you. You can't speak A and tomorrow you're doing B. What makes a man is standing by his wife. I must repeat this. What makes a man is standing by his wife. When I say A, I mean A. Using myself as an example, I find it very challenging at times to deal with some categories of people who will tell you I'll be there by 8. And trust me, the person is meaning 10. Oh, that upsets me. That upsets me. When we say 9, is excuse me, we are meaning 9. And actually, my problem is when we say 9, I should get around the agreed upon destination by around 8:40, 8:50. So at 9, we are executing the duty. Be that kind of a person. Time management is very key. And I must tell you, the respect you give somebody is most measured with your ability to live to the set deadlines and the set time. When you agree to meet with somebody at 8 and the person comes at 9 without any communication, that is how the person values you. That is how the person respects you. But that is one other thing you can borrow to test how people respect you. Set to meet at 9, and you'll see people coming in without shame at 11. That is the respect they are giving you as their employer. To avoid stresses, let us have the ability to keep time. Let us have that self-discipline. When I say self-control, self-discipline, it even goes into your ability to live to that set time. And this will take us even into meeting deadlines. Yes, we agree and we saw this as why I'm introducing this. There are times we set unrealistic deadlines and it becomes a stress inducer. But it's also very paramount. When a deadline is set, you try your best to live to the set deadline. That will reduce the stress. Motivation. Many times we wait to be motivated. Today I want to look at you motivating yourself. Find something that makes you smile at your workplace. Not everything around you will make you smile. Have a reason to be contented. Find joy in what you're doing. By the way, if you don't find joy in what you're doing, best to quit. You just can't be a doctor when your aspiration is to be a journalist. You are a lawyer out there, but you love so much and you feel you're missing being a radio presenter. You'll never perform to your best. If you don't find joy, if you feel you're not in line with your aspiration, the best solution is to quit. I love talking to people. I enjoy it. Because I enjoy it, trust me, I can speak for the 24 hours non-stop. And trust me, I live a very happy guy. Because I love it. Do what you love. And you'll definitely find joy in what you're doing. Every time you're in a wrong profession, every time you're in a wrong cause, you live a stress. You'll be full of stress. Motivate yourself, and even bosses, motivate your workers. One day, maybe in the next episode, I'll talk about motivation. How best you can motivate people. Let me just skip this out. The best way to motivate your workers is embedded in appreciating their work. We shall later talk about the power of the word thank you. Thank you. Learn to tell people thank you. Appreciate their work. Move around as a manager, as a supervisor. This take around not to look out for mistakes, but just to say thank you. Thank you. We appreciate the work you're doing. Oh, my boss does it so much. Pastor Egan, every other minute, he concludes it to thank you. And trust me, it leaves me with a reason to smile. So let us embrace this. Let us appreciate one another. Thank you. It's a small word. Just we shall later understand the magic words. Learn to say sorry whenever you have offended someone. Sorry should be reciprocated, whether it's the boss, whether it's the employee at the lowest level. Everyone owes to say, I'm sorry. You can say, I'm sorry. When you feel someone didn't appreciate you, you have hurt someone, use nothing saying, I'm sorry. And just imagine you're the employee and the boss was a bit rude in the morning. And then later it comes around to say, I'm sorry, I think I hurt you, I'm sorry. That can clear off the stress. Bosses out there, you don't lose your title. You don't lose any of your privileges. Say, I'm sorry, to the one you feel offended. The secret behind the word sorry, very interesting. It's one way of telling someone, shut up. Close up. Forget it. Close the chapter. Someone is very bitter with you and you're insisting, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Indirectly, you're telling the person, leave that, forget it. Shut up. And trust me, it will bring eventually harmony. Constructive criticism. Deliver constructive criticism. Criticism is part of life. Wherever you are, you will be criticized. By the way, the best gift one can ever give you is criticism. The best therapy one can give you is criticism. Because criticism is a mirror that allows you a chance to reflect on what you've been doing, whether it's right and how the rest perceive of you. So we must allow room for criticism. Yes, I'm giving out this space. Very ready to welcome criticism. When someone criticizes you, it's either they say, how about putting this right? How about adding in this ingredient? How about subtracting this element? Take it in good faith. But then even when you must criticize, let it be constructive. Make sure your criticism is not drawing someone's esteem so low. It is not lowering someone's self-esteem, but it's rather helping someone perform better. And then mind the forum. Criticism can use stains, and it can be interpreted as an insult when it is done in an open forum. We are in the staff meeting, management meeting, and you are busy criticizing your boss. It is disrespect. That may never be taken positively. But if you sought a one-on-one talk and you say, how about changing here? And be mindful of even how you package it, so that it's not interpreted as an insult or a quarrel or an open confrontation. Be very mindful. A one-on-one discussion heals a lot, solves so many. Let's embrace it. And it takes me back to the earlier mentioned point of communication. This is a two-way. Bosses, even if you're addressing your workers, why did you criticize someone openly even when you have their personal contacts? Call someone and say, let's have a minute talk after the meeting. There is something to share. And even when you're causing that communication, let it not create tension onto the one called. Let it be casual. Learn to be casual, but with the intentions of having the point strongly passed on. Yes, I agree. At times, we need to play with determination. There are times when the tone must sound strict. But let us aid in whatever we are doing, in living in a harmonious life at our own places. Dedication and commitment is very key. Be committed to your work. Show that enthusiastic attitude towards your work. It will yield the results. It will attract promotion. It will attract a bigger pay. It will attract trust. Somebody is dedicated, somebody is very committed, wins the boss's trust, and can easily be assigned several tasks, can be trusted. One becomes indispensable. Be dedicated. Monday you're at work at 7. By Wednesday you're reporting at 9. The first 1 month you were very committed to come very early and leave very late. As you say, into the third month, you are totally a different person. Don't change here. Remain the very person you were in the very beginning. Many times when we get used to our work, we tend to relax. Remember, you did not start the company. Remember, the company may not need you as an individual. It needs that title. If you're a cleaner, we may not need you said as an individual. We only need a cleaner. Meaning whoever can clean is highly welcome. Don't be tempted to think you're indispensable. After all, even if it was natural death taking you away, this just cannot bring the company to the end. We shall still move on. Be dedicated and committed to your work. Build the social capital. This is one thing we ignore, but it's very key. Be there for your friends, as they will also be there for you. When your friend is in need, prove that someone can bank on you. Someone can rely on you. Be there for others at times of smile and at the time of sorrow. That will enrich your social capital. Network. Your worthiness is seen in your network. Your network is your net worth. How many people do you know, of value? There are times we need people and we don't mind. But everyone means a lot. These are the people who later create opportunities for us. Don't ignore every other person you meet. What can be? While at our workplace, let us be there for each other. This will relieve your stress at a time you need the rest to stand by your side. Don't mix family issues with work. Many people have failed to strike a balance between family matters and work. It is very possible you leave home with a very stressed. As you enter the premises of your workplace, leave the family stress aside. Don't mix family issues. Don't hold someone well know if he is at work and you want to get them into a detailed discussion. Once at work, you're at work. Don't overcreate friendship. I'm not saying look at the rest as strangers. No, befriend them. But there is a difference between friendship and work. Many times we turn it into unnecessary friendship, and all the time it becomes a jolly moment, merrymaking, endless laughter, which compromises our productivity, which compromises a number of tasks. Work should be work. After work, we can even have a fellowship. Why not, if not? When we put all this into account, I assure you, we shall have a harmonious stay. We shall live a joyful life. But stress is part of life. There is time for everything, the Bible confirms. Therefore, even at our workplace at times, stress will come. But let us not break them. Let us rather focus on how to address challenges as they come. But if only you can borrow a point or two out of what I've shared with you, you will enjoy the work. I wish you the very best. Transformers Hub is dedicated to transforming lives timelessly. We shall always find a point or two which can impact on someone out there's life. Thank you so much for listening. I remain Jay Andrew.
Well. Thank you very much, Mr. Cheyune, for those great words and the wisdom that you have shared with us today. If you have any questions for him, kindly type in the chat and he will definitely revert back to you. I want to thank you that have stuck with us all this while for this time to listen to us. We want to thank you so much. Please don't forget, next Friday, we are here same time at the same place. We love you and bless you.